incidents of touting that demand the manual issuance of affidavits. More significant is that the fidelity and the authenticity of the affidavit issued by this court are now guaranteed. It is gratifying to record that in a speech delivered by the Permanent Secretary of the FCT Administration on behalf of the Honorable Minister of the FCT at the opening of the Gariki Division of this court on October 6, 2022, the Honorable Minister publicly acknowledged how the electronic affidavit system has greatly enhanced the work at the Federal Capital Territory and indeed the image of the FCT as a whole. It is also worthy to mention that in order to preserve and safeguard physical and monetary value of attached properties in the custody of the court and guide against avoidable loss, I inaugurated a committee for the decongestion of court warehouses. The committee chaired by Honorable Justice S.C. Origin has since submitted its report and the implementation is in progress. In our avowed drive to ensure speedy dispensation of justice in the FCT, we have embarked on steady revamp of some of our statutes and rules. On November 3, 12, 2021, I appended my signature to our new district court rules. In the same connection, we have also prepared a draft District Magistrate Court Act, the first of its kind in the FCT, which has been sent to the National Assembly for legislative approval. Perhaps it is necessary that these two legislative scores we have made was commenced by my predecessor, my Lord Honorable Justice Alice Ugamba, and we ensured that it saw the light of the day. We have equally commenced the process of revamping our High Court Civil Procedure Rule of 2018. I recently inaugurated a committee chaired by Justice A. Owadeni, a seasoned judge and composed of experienced judges, respected professors of law and seasoned practicing lawyers to undertake this assignment with the mandate of delivering a new civil procedure rules and that conforms with the modern day justice system and making way for easier access to justice and quicker disposal of civil suits. I have no doubt in my mind that before the end of the year, the new civil procedure rules, which is intended to remove the mischief in the old rules, would have become operational. Now, as part of our vowed efforts at promoting access to justice and speedy disposal of inexpensive, simple, and small liquidated claims, the court, in collaboration with the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, constituted a steering committee led by Honorable Justice L.A. Aneni to facilitate the establishment of small claims court in our magistracy system. I am delighted to let you know that the committee had since concluded its assignment and the small claims court to be manned by 15 designated magistrates shall take up this legal year. As part of the legal year ceremonies, I shall this morning append my signature to the practice direction on the small claims court 2022. Now, as part of the legal year ceremonies, I shall also this morning append a signature to the newly published practice direction and guidelines on the trial of sexual and gender-based violence cases and ancillary procedure, and the practice direction and guidelines on the application for protection order under the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act of 2015. These are carefully thought out practice directions to enable and enhance the workability of the VAP Act and other related statutes. In the past 1 year, the court has witnessed an upsurge in the number of cases filed in our registries. This is understandably so, considering the pace at which the Federal Capital Territory has continued to develop and movement of people into the Federal Capital Territory as a result of the insecurity and in some parts of the country. As a result, in the last 1 year, we have witnessed an increase in the number of civil and criminal cases filed in the High Court, the Magistrates and the Customary Court of Appeal. Details of the returns of these cases, in each of these courts have been tabulated in the annual report, except to remark that our disposal rates have marginally increased compared with the previous years. As an institution, we shall continue to strive to meet the demands of court users and the general public. As I salute my brother judges and the magistrates for rising to the occasion, toiling tirelessly in attending to cases assigned to them despite the prevailing conditions under which they work, I continue to enjoin us to remain steadfast in the discharge of our duties of adjudication in meeting with the expectation of the society. That today's world and tomorrow's world would be regulated by information and communication technology is res ipsa loquitur. It is therefore needless to restate that the time is now for the FCT judiciary to fully embrace the electronic court system in order to align our operations with contemporary international best practices and trends. I do recognize the efforts of my predecessors in office in setting up a system whereby litigants are able to file cases online and for our courts to be digitalized. However, in order to avoid the identified pitfalls in the past efforts achieving this goal, we have begun collaboration with the International Certification for Digital Literacy, ICDL, represented in Nigeria by the respected AU Mustafa SAN, in order to engender a sustainable digitalization of the FCT judiciary. I'm also optimistic that with the active support of the Judicial Information Technology Policy Committee of the National Judicial Council, of the National Judicial Council, headed by my brother, the Chief Judge of Borno State, the year ahead shall witness a significant transformation of the operations of the court in the area of digitalization. Considering that we require a healthy workforce for improved work output and greater efficiency in the administration of justice, we are making plans in collaboration with the National Judicial Council to revamp the medical facilities in the courts, to also provide a modern-day gymnasium where judges can undertake regular workouts. After all, a healthy and able workforce is a productive workforce. Let me at this point recognize the significant role the bar plays in the justice delivery system. It is said the bar and the bench are like seamless twins, twins, conjoined with the same purpose of promoting the rule of law, civil liberties, and good governance. I appreciate the numerous efforts of the bar in the FCT towards ensuring the smooth dispensation of justice and the pursuit and defense of the rights of the citizen. I charge you to continue to remain vigilant, fearless, and courageous in the pursuit of justice for all and the betterment of the society. For the bar, I'd like to assure you that the year ahead will witness improved relationship between the bar and the bench. We will resuscitate the bar bench forum, which enables us to meet regularly to address problems and achievements of the judiciary for the benefit of all. Going by the large volume of litigation in our courts, I take opportunity of the legal year ceremony to urge the legal practitioners in this jurisdiction. I am happy you are here in large number to embrace mediation and other related alternative dispute resolution platforms in resolving disputes. Mediation offers a non-confrontational and more harmonious way of resolving disputes. The benefits of mediation are considerable. It is much more cost effective than most other modes of dispute resolution. Mediation is also not burdened with the procedural formalities and technicalities in litigation, and then quicker closure can be achieved with a reduction in professional charges and opportunity cost for the parties in dispute. Furthermore, mediation allows the parties to directly participate in the resolution of their disputes and to determine the outcome. Indeed, mediation is an effective method of dispute resolution. I am happy that our Waste Dispute Center, formerly known as Abuja Multi-Door Courthouse, is open to lawyers and litigants who wants to take advantage of the ADR platform. I must place on record the role played by the immediate past president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Mr. Olumide Apata, in the creation of the Garki division of the Nigerian Bar Association. As a judiciary, we assure the bar of our continued cooperation and support in the discharge of your professional duties, recognizing that at the end of the day, both the bar and the bench pursue common purpose of promoting an egalitarian society where judges of every man, where the rights of every man is seen to be preserved. As we approach another general election year, it is expected that there will be heightened activities within the precincts of the court. It is therefore imperative for us as law practitioners, both the bar and the bench, to brace up for the challenges ahead. The Nigerian society looks up to us to continue to provide legal services that seek to stabilize the polity. The Chief Justice of Hong Kong, Mr. Andrew Chin Nong, in his speech at the opening of 21 legal year of the Apex Court of Hong Kong, actually captured the essence of the expectation of the general public of the judiciary when he posited thus, and I quote, that a judge must decide cases effectively and professionally, independent of his own personal views or beliefs, political or otherwise. The judge must put aside and apply only the law to decide cases. By his words and conduct, he must treat everyone that comes before the court equally and fairly. In this regard, perception is as important as reality. The public expectation of the impartiality of our judges is very high, and rightly so. A judge must therefore exercise self-restraint when dealing with the high-profile cases and cases with political flavor. Judges must be particularly careful with the appearance of impartiality in the terms of what they say in the court or write in their judgments, or how they treat the parties, their lawyers, or the witnesses. Any lapses in this regard, given the potentially polarizing nature of these cases, would lead to suspicion of partiality, which is not conducive to maintaining public confidence in our judicial system. As judges, we must therefore bear in mind that as judges, we hear such cases, we will be put under intense public scrutiny in the traditional media and social media. Our decisions in these cases are most likely to be subjected to partisan criticisms, comments, and criticism, sometimes extreme and hard. And harsh ones are unavoidable. We must be ready for them. While the freedom of speech of everyone in our society must be fully respected, I must, however, urge here that there must not be any attempt to crucify the judges in the discharge of their judicial functions. Unfounded allegations against judges would only be undermining public confidence in the judiciary. The appropriate way to question a decision is by utilizing an appeal or review. Our appellate courts exist precisely to correct mistakes made in the lower courts, ironing out discrepancies in decisions and sentences amongst different trial courts, and where appropriate, clarifying the law and laying down principles. At the Admittedly, appeals and reviews take time, and patience is required. Nonetheless, we must have faith in our system and allow the appeals process to run its course. The positive and authoritative role played by our appellate court can simply not be replaced with media trials. In the same vein, the bar, as the bastion of the rule of law, must continue to recognize the leading and sensitive role it plays in nation building. As ministers in the temple of justice and custodians of the law, lawyers must join hands with the bench in ensuring the preservation of the sanctity of our laws, without which our nation cannot survive. The bar must rise against any attempt from any quarters to subvert the rule of law. The bar must continue to be harbinger of the hope of a more egalitarian society. As I wrap this address, I, on behalf of the judiciary of the Federal Capital Territory, assure the community that we shall remain committed in meeting the expectations of the modern-day administration of justice and the rule of law without fear or favor, ill will, affection, or self-interest. In drawing my address, I express gratitude to my learned brothers, caddies, and magistrates for the support and conviviality you all have extended to me since assumption of the mantle of leadership in the FCT judiciary. I appreciate your sacrifice, team spirit, dedication, courage, and singleness of purpose at ensuring steady sustenance of the momentum of judiciary delivery in the FCT. I equally extend appreciation and gratitude to the entire management and staff of the judiciary for working assiduously to maintain and sustain the ideals and mission of the FCT judiciary. I continue to count on your cooperation and support as we pursue the transformation agenda of the judiciary. Now, permit me to also extend appreciation and good wishes to our teaming stakeholders in the judiciary delivery sector, starting from our landlords, the Federal Capital Territory Ministry under the able leadership of Alhaji Mohammed Musa Bello, the Nigerian Police, particularly the Commissioner of Police FCT, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, the Nigerian Correctional Services, the Federal Ministry of Justice, the Legal Aid Council, and more particularly the Honorable Minister of Works and Housing for his dedicated support to this court. We remain eternally grateful to you. I also extend my appreciation to the numerous international organizations and donor agencies who have identified with us at different levels for our collaborative effort at enhancing the pursuit of speedy administration and dispensation of justice in the FCT. We assure you of our readiness to continue to engage with you with a view to achieving the common goal of achieving a more robust and effective justice delivery system in the FCT. In conclusion, my bonding duty here is to pay tributes to all the past chief judges of this court, beginning with my Lord Honorable Justice Dahiru Saleh of blessed memory. He had a singular opportunity of establishing the judiciary of the Federal Capital Territory. Through his, we also recognize His Royal Highness Honorable Justice Hassan Lawal Gumi, OFR, the Emir of Gumi, Honorable Justice Ibrahim Bukar. I'm sorry, I think I must extend his apologies. He's currently out of the country. My Lord Honorable Justice Dr. Ishaq Bello, OFR, and my Lord Honorable Justice Salisu Garba Abdullahi, the current administrator of the National Judicial Institute, Abuja, for their great and dedicated contribution to the development of the FCT judiciary. I must also remark publicly at this level that my Lord Honorable Justice Salisu Garba never allowed me to know what it means to transit, for power to transit from one person to the other. He made it very, very simple for me, and I remain grateful to you, my Lord. as the chief judges of this court laid a very sure foundation and built a well-grounded edifice for the FCT judiciary upon which the rule of law continues to flourish. They maintained the independence of the judiciary and led example in the due administration of law and justice. I must particularly also thank my Lord Honorable Justice Ishaq Bello. He was the one who fostered brotherhood in the judiciary of the Federal Capital Territory, and he took all of us and ensured that we remained as one. The legacies that you people have left are rich and substantial. I have had the good fortune of working under the leadership of all of you. Like many of my colleagues, I am grateful to their lordships and guardians for all this. Lastly, I take this auspicious opportunity to congratulate and felicitate with our brand new Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Olukayode Ariwala GCON, on his lordship's appointment and assumption of leadership of the judiciary in Nigeria. The FCT judiciary assures his lordship of our support and cooperation in charting new waters of reforms for the transformation of the Nigerian judiciary in our collective quest for a better Nigeria. It only remains for me to wish you all and your families good health, well-being, and prosperity in the new year. I'd like to thank you all for listening.
Addressed by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, represented by the Director of Civil Litigation. My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Olukayode Ariwala GCON, my Lord, the Honorable Chief Judge, FCT High Court, Honorable Justice Hussein Baba Yusuf, the Honorable Minister FCT, Alhaji Muhammad Musa Bello, ably represented, my Lord, the Honorable President Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice Monica V. Dombe-Mense, CFR, ably represented, all heads of court here present, the Honorable Grand Kadi FCT Sharia Court of Appeal, ably represented, the Acting President FCT, Honorable Justice Stanley Adekule Lawal, Honorable Judges of the FCT High Court, former Chief Judges of the FCT High Court, and former judges here present. May my Lord kindly permit me to stand on the existing protocol as acknowledged by my Lord. I have the directive of the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation, Mr. Abubakar Malami, CON, SAN, to extend his sincere apologies for his inability to be here today at this auspicious event. He's attending a national retreat, which is compulsory for him to attend, and he has directed me, Memuna Lami Shiru, Director of Civil Litigation, to convey his keynote address. With the kind permission of my Lord, I would like to proceed to deliver his keynote address. It is a great privilege for the Attorney General to honor his Lordship, the Honorable Chief Judge's invitation to grace this special court session in commemoration of the 2022-23 legal year celebration of the High Court of the FCT. Kindly permit him to begin his address by alluding to the newly created Garki Judicial Division of the FCT High Court. This and other intentional and strategic location of high courts all over the FCT definitely lend credence to the continued efforts of my Lord, the Honorable Chief Judge, and constituting and reconstituting top-notch delivery of just judicial remedies by must therefore commend my Lord, the Honorable Chief Judge, and all judges of the FCT High Court for relentlessly shepherding and nurturing the absolute template of judicial service delivery at the FCT High Court to what we have today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with a total of 16 judicial divisions, you will agree with him that what we have as the High Court of the FCT today is in fact a template of a strong, well-respected and highly professional institution that upholds the rule of law, serve the public and safeguard the interests of FCT. Thank you. He has asked me to thank my Lord for always helping to lay some of the strongest of foundations for judicial precedents and providing clear guidance for its enforcement as the highest court superintending over all subordinate courts at the state's equivalent level, being the appellate court of first instance for the inferior courts within the FCT. As the Attorney General of Federation, he is quite familiar with the volume of court processes filed at the High Court of the FCT on a weekly basis. The terrain of processes which passes through his desk daily gives him a very clear idea of the heavy assignment that my lords have had to confront every day. He would like to seize this opportunity to assure your lordships that the government is ever ready to work with the judiciary and ever supportive in bringing digital innovations to ease the onerous tax of the court. He thanks his lords the very best in the new legal year. Thank you, my lords.
Addressed by the Honorable Minister of the FCT, represented by Gadia Bawa.
My Lord, the Honorable Chief Judge of the FCT, the heads of courts here present, members of the inner and outer bar, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Solicitor General Legal Services Secretary at FCT. It's my pleasure and honor to present this goodwill message on behalf of the FCT administration. The Honorable Minister of the FCT sends warm felicitations to the Honorable Chief Judge of the FCT and the entire legal community in the FCT on this auspicious day of yet another new legal year. The Minister of FCT would have loved to be personally here present, but because of a ministerial retreat that started today, which he is attending. My Lord, the FCT administration is proud to be associated with the laudable achievements of the FCT judiciary, which has greatly impacted on the smooth administration of justice in the FCT. We therefore beseech the Honorable Chief Judge and the entire judiciary to continue the mutual partnership with the FCT administration towards ensuring that the entire FCT continues to enjoy maximum security, which in turn will complement rapid development in the city and attract the necessary investments. My Lord, as I congratulate the Honorable Chief Judge and the entire legal community of the FCT, it is the Honorable Minister's prayer that the FCT administration, that the FCT judiciary will continue to experience more developmental strides, particularly in the speedy dispensation of justice and the acquisition of modern equipment to assist our judicial officers in the timely discharge of their respective line with the international best practices. To assure this gathering that this administration will continue to give maximum support to the FCT judiciary towards ensuring the effective discharge of its statutory responsibility, just as evidenced by the newly created Garki division, which of course the administration supported fully. I thank you very much, my Lord, for the opportunity to stand in for Mr. and by implication the FCT administration. Thank you very much, my Lord.
Yes, Chair. Microphone, please.
Addressed by the President of the Nigerian Bar Association.
May my Lord be pleased. My name is Paul Harris Ogbole, and I have the privilege of reading the address of the President of the Nigerian Bar Association, YC Mekeo OONSAN. I'd like to begin by standing on the protocol so well established by your Lordship, but however pay special tribute to my Lord the Chief Justice of Nigeria, the President of the Court of Appeal, the Attorney General of the Federation, the heads of courts, CJs, judges past and present, members of... My Lord, I rest on the... I again will crave the leave of your Lordship that I adopt the speech of Mr. President.
Mr. President apologizes profusely for his inability to be here today because he is otherwise engaged currently at the NJC where they are deliberating on the steps regarding the appointment of judges. He requests that you please accept his apologies. But what he says, I am grateful to my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Judge of the FCT High Court, Honorable Justice Hussein Baba Yusuf, for the invitation extended me to be part of this ceremony. I am delighted for the opportunity and privilege to address this August session, for which I am grateful to God Almighty. I am particularly humbled for the fact that I am the first member of the NBA Abuja branch, the Unity branch, to become president of the Nigerian Bar Association, and the first on an occasion like this to address your lordships. I appreciate the grace and favor of God upon me and the judiciary. My Lord, he talks about the legal year and the practice as borrowed from England, the medieval England. Again, he talks about a time like this being a time for stock taking, for the CJ, the Chief Judge, to appraise the bar, the public, of the activities of the judiciary in the previous years, and then look into the incoming year for the programs, prospects, hopes, and plans for an improved judiciary. He says that, may I respectfully, on behalf of the NBA, most warmly welcome your lordships back from a well-deserved vacation. On the same note, I commend the vacation judges who dutifully held forth, hearing and determining cases that required urgent judicial intervention, and also ensured that the wheels of justice were not halted nor slowed down by the vacation. He says that the FCT judiciary has contributed immensely to the growth of the judiciary in Nigeria. A lot of your justices here are already at the Court of Appeal. The president of the Court of Appeal in Nigeria today is a product of the FCT judiciary. My Lord Justice Sidi Baje is also of the FCT judiciary. May we see more and more elevations from the FCT judiciary. Amen. The president talks about the essence of justice and commends the judiciary, who are doing so well already, concerning reducing the rate of delayed litigation to still improve on all that needs to be done to also reduce or totally eliminate delayed litigation. Mr. President appreciates the efforts of the Honorable the Chief Judge for his early strides already at improving judiciary and justice delivery. Mr. President is concerned that his gratitude is incidences and occasions of abuse of ex parte orders is very, very minimal or non-existent in the FCT judiciary. And he commends my Lord, the CJ, and the judges of the FCT judiciary. Mr. President also believes that one of the ways in which justice can be done and also seem to be done is that judgments be made readily available upon delivery. He speaks from his experience across the country, but again he singles out the FCT for commendation for prompt delivery of judgments and making judgments available. For justice must be done and seen to be done. For people to see that justice is done, they need to have access to the reports, to the judgments, and speedily so. My Lord, the President also commends the judiciary, the FCT judiciary, for making records of proceedings available very, very readily upon judgment. Again, he says from his experience across the country, there are some jurisdictions whereby records of proceedings are delayed and judgments delivered are not made available. And this affects the ability of litigants who desire to proceed on appeal to effectively appeal the decisions. My Lord, Mr. President says that in his 30 years or 3 decades of practice, the judiciary has fared well in leadership. And the judiciary can still do more to occupy its pride of place. Pardon me, my Lord. May I hold on for the arrival of my Lord, the President of the Court of Appeal, and justices of the Court of Appeal accompanying her, sir.
Quickly.
Welcome, my Lord. Welcome, my Lord.
Yes. As a matter of fact, it was in their anticipated seat for the president to sit.
No, that is need to. People went and put on the card without card. Yes, we shouldn't go.
She's looking expectation.
It's president is here with you.
You're welcome, my Lord.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Mr. President commends the relationship between the bar and the bench and says that they are indeed like Siamese twins who are both engaged, playing several roles for the improved delivery of justice to the citizenry. My Lord, Mr. President is concerned about the welfare of judicial officers across the country and calls on the executive and all stakeholders to do all they need to do to improve the welfare and well-being of justices and judges nationwide. Finally, my Lord, Mr. President says that as your Lordship prepares for the challenges of the new legal year, we pray for sound health, divine strength, wisdom from God, and necessary wherewithal with which to carry out the task of justice delivery effectively and efficiently. May the good Lord continue to bless you and all the judges of the FCT judiciary. I thank you for listening, and I wish you the very best of a legal year. Most obliged, my Lord.
Addressed by the representative. Sorry.
My Lords, announcing the arrival of Her Lordship, the President of Court of Appeal. His Lordship has asked that we emphasize that she's one of the products of this court. Your Lordship, you're warmly welcome. Accompanying her also are justices of the Court of Appeal, including one of our very own Honorable Justice Sadiq. Welcome, Your Lordship.
Bring it. I will personally acknowledge the presence of my Lord Honorable Justice Stephen Jonada in her team.
Addressed by the representative of the Senior Advocate of Nigeria.
My Lord, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, President of the Court of Appeal, and Justices of the Court of Appeal here present, my Lord, the Chief Judge of the FCT, may I adopt the elaborate and exhaustive protocol that has been marshaled out by the Honorable Chief Judge at the beginning of this ceremony to save time. This is a speech on behalf of the body of Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Abuja, under the chairmanship of Otumba Adegboyega Solomon Awomolo. Okay, I'm sorry. Asiwaju, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. I'm sent to represent him and share these few words with my Lord. It is with great delight that the body of Senior Advocate of Nigeria received the invite of the Honorable Chief Judge of the High Court of Justice FCT, Honorable Justice H.B. Yusuf, CJ, to the 2022 legal year. First, the body salutes the Federal Capital Territory Judiciary for all the enormous work done so far can be seen from the report of the Honorable Chief Judge. The body salutes the labor, hard work, tenacity of purpose, and sacrifices, especially this time of serious economic challenges, taking this toll on every citizen, including their lordship. After all, we all buy from the same market. There's no price discrimination, but price disparity according to your pocket. We do not believe that the annual ceremony, apart from the fanfare and aesthetic coloration, there are other significant motives. The bar wants to hear from the bench, and the bench also wants to hear from the bar. In this regard, we are each other mirror and reflector. Hence, quoting from William Shakespeare, he once said, quote, "For the eye sees not itself except by reflection." End of quote. If we are your reflector, grant us the indulgence to give you some feedback of this reflection. First, we have seen from the address of my Lord, the Chief Judge of the High Court of Justice of the FCT, catalog of cases listed, cases disposed of, cases pending, and other things. We salute their Lordship for this sacrifice, and altruistic believer in going out to do their very best in these global economic challenges in which the Nigerian own is special like no other. You may ask why I'm going this far. There's no special market to the judges and their family. There's no special role for the judges and their family. In these unending challenges of insecurity, kidnapping, banditry, the fall of the Naira, the collapse of the electricity agency, the burning of diesel if you must submit your report, the cost of diesel has now snowballed, inability to visit ones, loved ones, and family, even if they were as close in Zuba or Kefi. If the horrible and unpassable road is willing, but the bandit will not allow. This is why we salute your Lordship, especially those who, despite these challenges, have the unwritten code to sit and do the needful. Particularly those who adhere to the city time of 9 o'clock or so soon thereafter, and have stuck to the 9 a.m. and have been gracious and benevolent enough, whenever not practicable to sit at 9, to send apologies to the waiting counsel in court. We salute you. The body also salute you and do not be weary in this well doing, as you will surely reap the fruit if you faint not. For those who interpreted so soon thereafter, to me no tangible agreed time, or the soon indicate 11 a.m. or that 1 p.m. Others have interpreted it to mean keeping the counsel in court for hours without any word. This minority percentage will plead with you for a change of heart and be born again in this new legal year. For the other few who sit late, or no fixed time of sitting, or erratic time of sitting, or absence from sitting without any notice of counsel, waiting in court, without any apology, we plead, may it not be your portion that you will lose your reward on the day of visitation. Another reflection from Shakespeare mirror is why commending the Chief Judge and the judges of the FCT for this last year. There's growing trend of delay in assignment of cases when filed, as in most cases they are not brought to the attention of the Chief Judge, who in his characteristic manner will waste no time in sending such cases assigned timeously. To this end, this should be addressed so that this procedural wrangles and bottleneck of the civil service is not taking its tool or root here. There's no doubt that each year the judges in the FCT are increasing in number. As of today, we have 58 judges, including the Honorable Chief Judge of the FCT. This demonstrates that the population of the FCT has jumped and will continue to jump, and should accommodate the legal friction that are bound to flow in increased urbanization, both in civil and criminal matters. This consequently will result in many cases filed, and there must be adequate provision for the judges and magistrates, judges of the Sharia and customary court in the FCT, so that there are no incapacities to discharge their duties owing to lack of office, residential accommodation, or transportation. We believe with the cordial relationship between the FCT judiciary and the executive, all this can be solved. One final but very worrisome issue is the fate of the judiciary in the light of unfolding economic woes, challenges, statistics, salary, and a monument in this modern world that is dynamic in nature. Let me be practical. Today, $1 is about 680.
Where are you coming from?
My Lord, I beg your pardon, I thought it has fallen. I didn't know that. 760 to a naira. What does it translate to? Convert this salary into dollar. Can this buy a judge vacation ticket to Ghana? Please leave Dubai. Please leave London. Please leave America or Canada. In the last 8 months, a liter of diesel has been having a free rise to over 800 per liter. Most of the judges use generators, yet one more diesel, if thoroughly run, in both the judges' houses and chambers to achieve productivity, where they can effortlessly work, writing judgment without fear of any power interruption, will run to millions. If it is solar power, that is a no-go area. If it is medical, compared to the other two arms of government, it is a far cry. The point that we are making is that if the current economic challenges persist, without making future preparations to make room for the judiciary to ensure adequate provision for these rising dynamics, societal economic reality, we fear it may be ominous. The answer lies in the financial independence of the judiciary. We submit strongly. If there is no financial autonomy in place, in practical terms, not paper tiger, the future looks bleak. That is why the legislative and executive arm have always provided for all their rainy days ahead, but the judiciary is left out. Little wonder. Alexander Hamilton, one of those famous writers, put it this way, I quote, "The judiciary is least dangerous branch, having no influence over the sword or the purse, and is the least capable of defending itself against the two other branches." End of quotation. Who can assist against these two other branches? It is you and I who are the stakeholder. Finally, the body wish to know that the 2023 general election is by the corner. All hands must be on deck, that both the bar and the bench will be partners in championing and enthroning lasting democracy, seeing that justice is done and seen to be done to all. Let the legal practitioner carry out his duty in accordance with our ethics. Let the judges remain to the full calling of a judge, as the days are evil. Let no one be entrapped by the shenanigans of the politicians who are bent, come rain or sunshine, in getting what they want, no matter whose cause is God, whose interest is injured, whose conscience have been brutalized. We must escape all the boo-boo trap as they unfold. We pray that the coming year will usher in peace and legal prosperity for the FCT judiciary, the legal community, both the bar, the bench, and the entire public. Thank you and God bless you.
Sorry, we recognize the presence of my Lord Justice Haruna, Justice of the Court of Appeal. My Lord, you are welcome.
You don't have microphone there. Don't work it. Put it together.
Sorry, we recognize the presence of my Lord Justice Haruna, Justice of the Court of Appeal. My Lord, you are welcome. Addressed by the chairman of the NBA Unity Bar for and on behalf of NBA branches in the FCT.
So it's one person for the entire bar.
My Lord, the Honorable, the Chief Judge of the FCT High Court. My Lord, may I, with your leave, stand on the existing protocol, already well established. My Lord, I am standing here for and on behalf of the Nigerian Bar Association branches within the FCT. I am pleased with this opportunity to address the special court session of the ceremonial opening of the 2022-2023 year. I most heartily thank my Lord, the Honorable, the Chief Judge of the FCT High Court, Honorable Justice Hussein Baba Yusuf, for the invitation extended to the bar to be part of this grand occasion. The opening of the legal year ceremony is a practice which dates back to the Middle Ages and the religious practice of judges praying for guidance at the start of the legal term. The annual service, which dates back to 1897 in England, had judges ceremonial attires for a solemn assembly, seeking divine guidance and strength for a new legal year. And this prayer said, "We gather in the presence of Almighty God, who is the judge of all men, who knows the secret of our hearts, to renew our commitment to the service of the crown and to all manner of people, that we may together do right. We acknowledge a shared high calling, a common commitment to a justice all can recognize, done without fear of affection or ill will. So we seek God's strength and guidance that we might remain true to our calling, informed, wise, and just."
Let us turn our mind to this prayer, which resonates the very essence of the judiciary. This ceremony is also a time for evaluation. Today we have listened to the Honorable Chief Judge of the FCT, as well as the topic of the activities of the court in the previous legal year, the challenges, achievements, and the agenda for the new legal year.
These are of interest to the bar because it provides the necessary insight which will foster understanding of the workings of the court and our interactions with the court in the coming year and beyond. My lords, now more than ever before, the citizens of this great country look up to the bench and the bar for the reformation, reposition, and recovery of this nation, which they believe can happen through deliberate pursuit of justice. Permit me to acknowledge the great innovations of the FCT judiciary under the leadership of my Lord Honorable Justice Hussein Baba Yusuf, the Honorable the Chief Judge. The court has maintained giant strides with a lot of advancements in capacity building, infrastructural development, and justice delivery, some of which are the Federal Capital Territory District Rule 2021, innovative platform for e-affidavit, creation of Gariki branch, setting up of a committee to review the civil procedural rule of the FCT High Court, appointment and deployment of new judges, creation of new courtrooms and premises in Gwagwarada, Jikoi, Life Camp, and Gariki, establishment of filing facilities in other court premises as is evident in Jabi and Apo, continued publication of judgments on the FCT High Court website. Even some second quarter 2022 judgments are already on the website. Deployment of more magistrates within the FCT, increased frequency of magistrate area court appeal sessions, court WhatsApp groups created by the registry of some courts that allow for dissemination of information such as daily cost lists to counsel. I consider this innovation laudable and necessary for the justice delivery. For courts to be effective in delivering justice, the general public will have confidence in their ability to do so. even though it is desired of all involved in the administration of justice to uphold the principle which states that justice delayed is justice denied. It is equally unacceptable to encourage to do injustice in an attempt at speedy dispensation of justice. No nation is built without justice, and members of the legal profession, both the bar and the bench, must ensure that justice is dispensed transparently. As the former Chief Judge of the United States District Court of Columbia said, there should be two cardinal objectives of courts in a democracy. One is obvious. Courts must accomplish justice. The second one, which is often neglected, is courts must convince those whom they serve that justice is being accomplished. Admittedly, there is need to expedite assignment of cases and to create ease of access to follow up on such matters. This can be achieved via setting up a hotline or publication of assignment on the court's website or dedicated portal. Also, the reassignment of case files that have gone to the archive, perhaps due to the retirement of a judge or elevation, needs to have a more standardized and expeditious process. My Lord, the continued defiance of area courts who have continued to exercise criminal jurisdictions despite several decisions of the FCT High Court to the contrary, and the clear provisions of the FCT area court rules is an aberration of the principles of functional justice delivery. It is not only unethical, but also dishonorable for a court to assume jurisdiction over a matter which it clearly lacks jurisdiction. This practice of the area court within the FCT is liable to cause disenchantment among the citizenry. Furthermore, my Lord, communications about court sittings is still a challenge within the FCT judiciary. Though some courts have commendably set up WhatsApp group, as mentioned earlier, where daily court list is posted, counsels are pre-informed if the court will not sit. However, not all courts do this, and sometimes counsels travel long distances only to hear that the court will not sit. To attain functional judicial justice delivery, communication should be at the forefront. Again, my Lord, mobilizing bailiffs for service of processes, other administrative application with court support staff, as CTC and enroll orders have become increasingly difficult as high fees are charged. In fact, some court staff make us believe that they rely on commercial business centers to produce their documents. We have reports of lack of clerical services for some courts, especially magistrate courts, who are left to use business centers, leading to delays in processing CTC and enroll orders. This should not happen. It's an affront to the judiciary. My Lord, courageous decisions have emanated and continue to emanate at large are expectant for more. The push for an efficient and sustainable should be sustained and accelerated. And connected with this is the push to have the code advantage of virtual hearing should not be lost. Courts should be encouraged to take routine applications and adoption of addresses virtually, especially the courts outside the city, to minimize the risk of traffic. My Lord, the bar and bench are like sesame twins. They have one thing in common, which is to deliver to all manner of persons without fear or favor. They are considered as the two wheels of a chariot that play a role in administrating the law. Both are subordinate to and interrelated to one another in their respective roles. The bar and bench both playing critical roles in the administration of justice, maintaining cordial relationship requires respect and understanding on both sides. However, because of the nature of responsibilities that the bar and the bench must fulfill, they may engage in dialogues that are sometimes amusing, sometimes heated, and sometimes tough. Sometimes it appears that the bar and the bench are in a competition with each other, with each one trying to outwit the other. The administration of justice cannot be successful unless there is unity and cordiality between the bar and the bench. Otherwise, the required outcome to maintain the grandeur of the institution will be achieved. An advocate scandalizing the court is truly despoiling the very foundation of justice, and such behavior by an advocate tends to bring dishonor to the entire administration of justice. It is the honest display of respect for the bench from the bar and vice versa that sustains the faith of the society in the court. In the same vein, it is the responsibility of the judiciary not only to be courteous to the members of the bar, but also to do everything in their power to protect the high traditions of the profession. My Lord, I make bold to state that the bar will not support the disrespect of the judiciary under any guise. We must defend the independence of the judiciary jealously, and we expect reciprocity from the bench as well. In the light of the foregoing, there is need for the bench to carry the bar along in all its activities. The need for constant interaction between the bar and the bench as partners in progress. On the security and welfare of our judges, my Lord, times insecurity has dominated discourse across the country. Terrorism, banditry, kidnapping have heightened, especially in the FCT. Series of attacks and threats within the close proximity of Abuja is causing fear and apprehension across the country. On the 5th of July 2022, armed men attacked Kuje Correctional Facility with about 900 inmates reported to have escaped. On the 25th of July 2022, unidentified assailants killed 6 officers of the Presidential Guard Brigade, an elite force of the Army responsible for protecting the President in Buhari Area Council. More recently, we saw on the news the case of kidnapping on the popular and ever-busy Ghana Street, Maitama, Abuja, where a good Samaritan was shot for daring to intervene as the victim was being dragged out from the car. These incidents, as well as other reports of kidnapping within the FCT, have spread fear, panic, and apprehension among the citizens. Today's challenges regarding the security of judges and court staff are different from those faced in the past. There is need to strengthen the security of judges and our courts in view of these incidences of recurring insecurity. On the welfare of our judges, we join the people of goodwill to support the review of the welfare of our judges. There is urgent need to review the salaries and the allowances of our judicial officers. It is very disheartening that other officers of other arms of government earn bogus and bogus salaries, allowances, and benefits, while the judges are paid peanuts. Welfare of our judicial officers should be a high priority since it affects the society at large. My Lord, at this point I must commend our judges for their dedication to duty, for making us proud. We have never had the case of any of our judges involved in scandal or any untoward attitude. Encourage them to keep it up. My Lord, at this juncture, I will apply break. As Professor Ademola once said, sometimes we say something, sometimes we say nothing, but there's never a time we say everything. Please permit me to thank you all for your kind attention and extend to everyone the very best wishes for the new legal year. Thank you and God bless you.
Sorry, there's a correction here. My Lord Justice Haruna Zamani is a presiding justice of the Abuja Division, Court of Appeal. Sorry, my Lord. The Honorable CJ, Justice Hussein Baba Yusuf, will be signing a practice direction on an application for protection order under the Violence Against the Persons Prohibition Act 2015.
Yeah, in this regard, I have the privilege of signing the applications for protection, the practice direction for the application for protection order under the Violence Against Persons and Prohibition Act. Okay.
The next.
What is the name? I also signed the practice direction and guidelines for the trial of sexual and gender-based violence and ancillary procedure. Why is the thing so tight? And finally, I also would sign District Courts Act Practice Directions on Small Claims Court for 2022. Thank you. Thank you.
Please, you.
The announcements.
Okay. Refer to page 13 of your programs of events for your refreshment point, please. Court by.
Yes, right.
Okay, specifically.
Yeah. You can announce the serving point. Yeah, the serving point. In the program. So thank you. But cases and some program.
refreshment. Please, our most distinguished guest, here is an announcement as to points of refreshments. Location, basement, we have the clinic staff and the customary court staff. At the ground floor, we have lawyers' lounge for lawyers, protocol office for media and GSC, transport office for honorable judges, drivers and orderlies, car park for police enforcement. On the first floor, the chief registrar's office are for all chief registrars, secretaries of NJC, FJSC, JSC, and the chief registrar's guests. Directors of admin's office for all directors from the High Court, Sharia Court, Customary Court, and FCT JSC. The Sharia Court staff will be entertained behind other charges on the first floor. The ceremonial court where we are now is for magistrates, area court judges, and customary court chairmen and members. The ceremonial court's waiting lounge is for honorable judges' packed food. Their orderlies can pick there. Then the honorable chief judge's office is for all head of courts, traditional rulers, and honorable chief judge's invited guests. Judges' lounge are for honorable judges of the high court, Qadis of the Sharia Court of Appeal, customary court judges, and advocates of Nigeria. The outside parade ground for the general staff of the magistrate court and high court, various court locations. Deputy Director Admin's office for deputy directors and assistant directors. High court Metama staff will be served in their respective